Mate, did we watch a thing this week?
Yeah, we did. Hello, listeners. Thank you for joining us here at We Watched a Thing.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Billy.
I am Topher, and we have watched a thing.
We did watch a thing this week. This week we're watching what every other podcast in the world is about to watch.
Little indie film.
Yeah, you might have heard of it. Avengers Infinity War? Is that what Infinity War?
Oh, who remembers?
Heard about it on the way into the cinema.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, according to IMDb, this film is summarised like this. The Avengers and their allies must be willing to sacrifice all in an attempt to defeat the powerful Thanos before his blitz of devastation and ruin puts an end to the universe. Not entirely factual.
I wouldn't know. No, not entirely factual.
But you get the drift.
You do. You get the idea.
There's a bad guy. His name's Thanos.
Is that? Yeah. There's
We've
some
seen
good
him,
guys.
We've seen him before in post-credit scenes, being purple and not doing much.
Actually, is this the first time we've seen him in film proper, outside of post-credit scenes?
It would be, wouldn't it?
I feel like it must be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 18 of these suckers. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah. I don't remember. You didn't remember who Red Skull was.
No, I didn't.
Who was the guy that sounded like Hugo Weaving? It was Hugo Weaving. Something we should say, right off the bat, riddled with spoilers coming up.
Yeah,
we're not going to be careful with what we're saying.
I mean, if you listen to us regularly, then you'll know that we are completely spoilerific, and this won't be an exception.
And this film came out here in Australia a day or two before it came out in the States, so you will have the opportunity to listen to this before you see the movie, and if you don't want it spoiled, then hit pause.
Yeah, but by all means, if you're the kind of person like me who doesn't overly care about spoilers, go for it.
Cannot believe Tony Stark is Peter Parker's father.
I did not see that shit coming.
Lol.
So Avengers Infinity War, directed by Anthony and Joe Russo and written by Christopher Markus and Stephen McFeely, who wrote all three of the Captain America films as well as Thor the Dark World. It stars...
They've got a bit to answer for there.
They do. It stars... And are you ready for this? Because this is going to take a while to list these stars.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Benedict Cumberbatch, Don Cheadle, Tom Holland, Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan... Oh, Jesus. Letitia Wright, Dave Bautista, Zoe Saldana, Josh Brolin, and Chris Pratt.
You know what I thought was weird?
That Chris Pratt got
skipping right to the end here.
Yeah.
In the credits.
He's and Chris Pratt?
We go through everyone and they get and. Why is Chris Pratt the and?
I asked the same thing. It was very strange. Is he now the star power of the MCU?
I wouldn't have thought so.
No, but yeah, I had noticed that as well.
Maybe it's part of the contractual obligations of he and his hipster moustache.
Yeah, he did have a very big hipster moustache in this, and mutton chops. So this film has an estimated budget between 300 and 400 million, making it the most expensive MCU film and one of the most expensive movies ever made, possibly the most expensive movie ever made.
So when you take into account what they then spend on marketing, worldwide, this thing's got a crack, or probably $1 billion before it's actually making money, which it will.
Yeah, so the current most expensive movie is Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides at $378 million.
Money well spent.
It just goes to show that money can't buy greatness.
Money can't buy happiness or good movies.
Yeah. So, should we dive right in?
Sure. You want to know a fun fact?
Yes, I do.
My phone corrects Thanos to thanks. How intimidating.
You must have some excellent notes on your phone then. So
that's, and I'm done. You want to know another fun fact?
Yeah.
So the other day at work, when I was busy at work, I decided to go through all the 18 films and see what my MCU average score is.
That's I wish you would have told me. I would have done the same thing.
And it was pretty much what I thought it would be.
5?
5.3 repeater.
That makes sense.
5 1/3.
Yep.
So
some really good ones, some really poor ones.
Yep, it's fine, it's fun, and that's where my expectation sits with these movies.
Yep, that makes sense. And I get, the thing with this movie is if you're looking for the culmination of something in this film, like this is the big final, this is what we've been building towards, you're wrong. Just straight off the bat, that's not this movie. Yeah. This movie is just as much as any of the others, if not more, setting up for the future, I feel. Which
they tried to dissuade us of that notion. Because it was going to be Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2.
Yes.
They scrapped that and said, no, this is just a movie by itself.
Yeah.
absolute load of bollocks.
No, I'm here to tell you this is part 1. They might have taken that name off the title, but this is part 1. And it actually has me really interested to see how they handle all the films that now come between this and part 2. What is going to happen in Ant-Man is my question.
That's what I was thinking as the credits rolled. I was like, Ant-Man is really going to have to exist in a bubble. So leading into this movie, Billy and I made a list. We had things we wanted to happen in this film and things we expected to happen in this film.
Yeah, kind of a sheet of predictions. And we did, we just walked out of the movie together. We know that neither of us has cheated, but we did timestamp and certify these yesterday to make sure that we weren't cheating. So I'm going to hand you my piece of paper.
We're going to swap bits of paper right now. You hear that paper rustle?
That's paper.
All right. Oh, mine are laid out nicer than yours.
Yeah, I just threw down some dot points. How do you want to do this? Do you want to work through one by one?
Why don't we go through... Are yours like... Is there any division here between things you expect and things you want?
No, mine's just a list of things I thought might happen.
Oh, you animal. Okay, here's what we're going to do. You go through my list of things I want, then I'll do your list, then you do my expectations.
Now, again, here are some warnings. We are going to spoil some shit because we will probably talk about whether any of these happened before we even talk about the movie proper. All right, you wanted the Winter Soldier to die.
Sure did. Okay, I wanted death in this film. I was like, okay, if Thanos is going to be the ultimate baddie in the universe, he needs to come and kill some people to make that apparent.
Yeah.
And if someone's going to die,
they held back on that a lot.
Then it might as well be the emo soldier.
I feel like
who I've had a gutful of.
I feel like there was a lot more promise of death prior to this movie than what we actually got in the film. You wanted Falcon to die.
Sure, same thing.
Loki sacrifices himself to the death to the end the is he a good egg at art thing.
Yes. So I've had enough. I like Loki as a villain.
Yep.
But I've had enough of the...
Is he good? Is he bad?
Is he actually good at heart, or is he just a bad egg?
Yeah.
And I was like, the best way for this to all end finally is Thanos kills him to show that he means business.
Yeah.
And it puts an end to it once and for all.
Yeah.
That happened.
If you look at my list, you'll see it on my dot points as well. Loki dies an honorable death. Saw that coming a mile away, was not surprised at all when it happened in the opening scene. How did you feel about his death, though?
It was a bit of a non-event.
I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting much more of a kind of heroic notion on his part before that death. Whereas, I don't know, man, that was just a real letdown the way he died.
I mean, I like that straight off the bat. Like, it's the first scene.
Yes.
And Thanos not only, like, dominates the Hulk in, like, a WWE style fisticuffs.
Yeah.
He then straight up murders Idris Elba.
Yes.
And then Loki. So... that's good.
It is, but again, it set that expectation that the marketing had tried to sell that nobody in this movie is safe. And you know what? From that scene onwards, most people are pretty safe.
Because even like at the end of that scene when Thanos takes off, you're like, why would you leave Thor alive? How is that a good idea?
Yeah. And in your head, you're kind of led to believe that maybe even Thor is dead because the entire spaceship explodes, but Thor is a god. He just ends up floating around in space until he's found by the Guardians of the Galaxy, which ties them into the story. So let's keep going through your list of wants. A fight scene, preferably involving Black Panther, that's well choreographed and doesn't cut every 18 frames.
Didn't get that.
Didn't really get it. No. We did get a big fight scene at the end, which felt kind of like the battle for Helm's Deep.
Except the battle for Helm's Deep is outstanding.
Yeah. A sense that the laws of physics exist in FX shots.
I will say more than usual.
I thought the effects in this film were very good, with the exception, very sadly, of Thanos.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Iron Man's suit.
Yeah, that was a little bit underwhelming.
See, I thought Thanos was like in the close-ups of Thanos, like you can see pores in his skin and stuff. It's some details.
But I also felt like his voice didn't seem to be coming from his mouth. I felt like there was a little bit of ventriloquism going on there.
Were you
like
fixated on his chin?
His mouth just didn't have the weight of actual speech behind it. I felt it looked a little bit video gamey.
Better than Steppenwolf.
Definitely better than Steppenwolf.
All right, so that's things I wanted from the film.
Yeah.
Some of which I got, several I didn't. Here's some of Billy's. I don't expect to love this movie. I think it will be middle of the MCU, might be better than Age of Ultron, but not as good as Civil War, which is definitely an Avengers movie.
Yes.
I agree with you on that.
Civil War is an Avengers movie. And you know what? I think I liked this more than Civil War.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like I did. Here's the thing. This is not at all a standalone movie. Don't go thinking that you can watch this movie if you aren't at least somewhat up to date on the MCU. You don't have to have seen all of them.
Yeah.
But there's no introductions to characters. There's no introduction to story. This is very much a continuation.
The MCU at this point is a serial.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So don't go thinking that you can just jump on into this one and expect to be caught up.
Your expectation here meets how I feel about the film. I think it's better than Ultron, not as good as Civil War.
Okay, there you go.
Your next one. Robert Downey Jr. will at one point say, "No shit, Sherlock," to Benedict Cumberbatch.
I was so sure that was going to happen. It didn't.
And there's the opportunity as well to have something with, you've got Sherlock and Watson if you want.
Yeah.
Because Martin Freeman's in the MCU, but
yeah.
He's, I don't know, busy during this movie.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about that later, about the characters that didn't make an appearance.
All right, your next one. Thanos will complete the gauntlet. He may even actually win and destroy the universe, or at least some of it.
I was right on the money with all of that stuff.
That's pretty good. I mean, he doesn't destroy the universe. The universe still exists.
We've got some questions about that.
Not a very good state.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay. If he does destroy the universe, we may see some time travel that fixes this. Going forward, I think that's a distinct possibility, but we don't have it yet.
No, in fact, we actually got the reverse of that. We thought the Avengers had won, and then Thanos already had the time stone, turns time back, and wins, basically. So, yeah.
All right, your next one. Spider-Man and Ant-Man are going to be the main sources of humour, and as such will become pretty annoying real fast.
I was very, very wrong there.
Hard to have Ant-Man be funny.
He wasn't in it.
Because he's not there.
Not even in one shot. Did not make an appearance. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No, my expectation was that he would be in the movie.
Yeah, not in the movie at all. Not a shot. Not that he gets one mention by a character, but apart from that, he's not in the movie.
So presumably he's off in his MCU bubble with Evangeline Lilly at the moment.
Yeah, I was also wrong about the humor. They did not limit it to one character. What they did was limit it to scenes. I felt like the front half was very, very, very quip, and then that pretty quickly dies and you get into your full drama for the kind of last hour of this movie.
Yeah.
But for that first hour, everybody's cracking wise. There are a lot of jokes.
There's some genuinely funny stuff.
Most of it lands. Yeah. Most of it's pretty good.
There's good stuff there.
Yeah, but it does come from all angles.
Yep. Your next one, we will see at least one villain other than Thanos.
I was kind of right about that. I didn't mean a henchman, though. I thought
so he's got groupies.
Yeah, I thought that we might see a full separate villain, unrelated to Thanos, doing his own thing, unaware of what was... Yes. And we didn't get that. This movie was very, very, very set on the Infinity War and Thanos.
Yeah. All right. Shuri will not be as large a part of this movie as most people think.
I think I was right there. I feel like most people, after the success of Black Panther, really thought that Shuri was going to be like all over this shit. And, you know, she's there, but she doesn't have a
it's minor.
part.
It's minor, yeah. Okay, next one. Benedict Cumberbatch's face will be as off-putting as always. What does that mean?
I don't care for Benedict Cumberbatch.
Are you serious?
He's got a creepy face. Him and Tom Hiddleston both just creep me out.
You don't like the Batch?
I don't. I'm not a fan of the Batch.
Oh, man.
I don't like him. I don't like you, Benedict.
You haven't seen Sherlock, have you?
I haven't watched Sherlock, no.
It's so good.
With a creepy Sherlock?
It's
with a
so
Sherlock
good.
with a face like that? Who's
Sherlock's
looking at you like...
Well, he's meant to be a...
Clarice.
I mean, Sherlock's not meant to be a pleasant person.
Oh, mate, there's something off-putting about him.
It's an outstanding series. Thor will live. Well done.
Yeah.
Tick. Iron Man and Captain America will die fighting side by side.
I was wrong. They don't even interact.
They don't even meet.
They don't even say boo to each other.
War Machine will become the new Iron Man.
Wrong about that.
Wrong. Fingers crossed, Winter Soldier will die.
Yeah, we both thought that.
Good man. Fucking emo. Hawkeye's family is not getting out of this alive by Linda Cardellini.
And I was wrong because Hawkeye does not make an appearance at all.
They explain him away even.
Yeah.
They're like, they basically say he's on compassionate leave.
Yeah, which is the exact same explanation they give for Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That's the one mention we get of both of them.
Yep.
I was shocked by that. I don't know what Jeremy Renner did to piss off Marvel.
But he's probably just had a gutful. He's like, everyone else, like, this guy can call lightning and I've got a bow and arrow.
With an infinite number
Come
of
on.
arrows.
Your last one is, I reckon the following people may die. Chris Kaluuya, Falcon, and Vision. Well, Get Out isn't in the film.
No.
Falcon dies in a manner that a lot of people die, but I'm like, okay, dead. It's like dead with an asterisk, most of the people in this film. Yeah. And Vision, actually, Thanos straight up kills Vision.
That I knew had to happen given my earlier prediction that Thanos would win, because how else is he going to get the Mind Stone other than killing Vision? So I originally thought Scarlet Witch may die as well, but I figured, no, they're not going to kill both of them.
She's also dead with an asterisk.
Yeah, which we'll get to. The rest of your expectations. Captain America sucks the fun out of every shot he's in because he is in fact a living vacuum of charisma.
Okay, well, that second bit's true. Look, I will say Captain America has his best moment in any MCU film the first time we see him in this movie. And he doesn't have to do anything. He just stands there in silhouette. But props to the filmmakers, it's a cool moment.
The entire audience at the theatre cheered when we first saw Captain America there.
Well, not the entire audience.
Well,
I didn't.
Thanos takes Vision's Infinity Stone in a scene where Vision and Scarlet Witch had been busy having less chemistry than Anakin and Padme.
Everyone, I will take your applause now.
Black Widow takes someone down with the thighs around the head move.
Didn't happen.
No X-Men.
They've shelved
that happened.
Yep, no X-Men.
Yeah, an energy beam of some variety coming from or going up into the sky several times over. We got a lot of energy beams in this film.
MCU can't make a movie without an energy beam.
Few of them, I feel like, went up into the sky or came down from the sky, but there were a lot of sideways energy beams.
Yeah, it was more like getting beamed up in Star Trek.
Yeah. Topher has a gutful of the virtual camera whizzing around in an oh-so-amazing, except it's totally underwhelming manner.
Yeah, that happened.
Billy stands shoulder to shoulder with his VFX brethren and has no issues with the inevitable couple of shots that are horribly keyed. I actually thought the keying was all right, so there you go.
Yeah, it actually was pretty good.
Like I said, I thought most of the VFX in the film was strong. I wasn't a fan of Thanos. There were a couple of other things that I thought were a little bit weak, but all in all, I thought it was a pretty good effort.
One thing I think we've really lost with the special effects in this movie is the feel that Iron Man's suit is actually a mechanical thing.
You lose that because of the design of this suit. It's no longer these parts that come together and form around him. It kind of just dissolves over him.
And it's
particularly when it got to the face, that looked bad.
Crap.
It had a
that
really
first time it came up, it looked like it was just being wiped on.
Yeah.
Like a changing scene in Return of the Jedi.
Yes. Yeah. You lost a lot of the weight of those moving parts coming towards him and attaching onto him and joining together.
Yeah, not a fan.
It was not good. No Evangeline Lilly, sadly. Yeah, that made me a little bit bummed. But of course, she's not going to turn up because Ant-Man wasn't even
She's in
there.
the Ant-Man bubble.
Thanos on the ladder of MCU villains is above Ultron but below Killmonger. How do you feel about that?
I'm going to say expectation met.
Okay. That's interesting. I thought Thanos was far, far, far better than I expected. Loki joins the baddies, feels conflicted, comes good at an important and convenient time. Nope.
Well, it kind of all happens in the space of a minute.
It does, I guess. He pretends to give allegiance to the baddies for about 4 seconds. All right, so let's dive right into this. Let's go.
So, all in all, it sits where Marvel films tend to sit for me. It's fun, but it's disposable fun.
I felt that this was better than most of the MCU in that it was very exciting. I felt like they did a much, much, much better job than I expected of bringing that many characters into the one film. I was really expecting them to struggle and it to feel very disjointed and not cohesive, but I was impressed at how well they did that. I thought there's no point in this movie where all fucking 20 of them or whatever are together. They're kind of separated into, for a large chunk of the movie, Thor is by himself, really. I mean, he's got Rocket and Groot with him, but it's really Thor's story, and then you've kind of got these 2 or 3 other groups that are kind of by themselves. I thought the way it was done was actually pretty good. How did you feel about it?
I think given the job it has in front of it, it does pretty well. Inevitably, there are times, let's say you might come back to Thor and you realize, oh wow, we've been away from Thor for a while. This has kind of lost, this thread has lost a bit of momentum. So yeah, they faced a pretty serious task there. And given the task at hand, I'd say they did it pretty well. But yeah, inevitably, it's a lot of characters.
It's a lot to juggle. Like, you can see why they left out the characters that they did, but I feel like they did a real injustice by not even really mentioning those characters, because it does take you out of the reality of the movie. Like, there's no way that at some point the Avengers would have they've got Black Widow with them, who is virtually useless. She's just a girl who can fight. She's not really powered. And yet they were like, no, we don't need Ant-Man or Hawkeye though. We've got the girl who can karate chop real good.
I find her fight scenes the best.
Because they're actually hand to hand. It's not just like she's
and because of course anytime, like, you know that if she's fighting a superior being, you're like, she can't take a hit. If she takes a hit, that'll actually kill her.
You actually feel a risk for her.
Yeah, with Black Widow, there's some stakes when it's hand-to-hand combat, unlike, you know, the Hulk just copping a beating from Thanos, which is impressive, but you're still like, well, I know he's getting up.
Yeah, although, interesting that we, for the majority of this movie, have no Hulk. Did you see that coming? No, I didn't see that at all. So we get Hulk in the first scene fighting Thanos. Idris Elba's last act before he dies is to send Hulk back to Earth, and Hulk warns some of the other Avengers about Thanos coming. And for the rest of the movie, he can't transform. And we don't really find out why. It's obviously an emotional thing for Brucey.
Yeah, Bruce, it's like trying to pee in front of other people, and he's just like, he wants to, but it won't come out.
And
Hulk won't come out.
I actually loved that. I thought that was one of the strongest choices they made in this movie, was to say, no Hulk, he's just Bruce. And I thought that was great, because he is one of the only Avengers, like, you know, Black Widow, who, when he is Bruce Banner, he's just a dude. He's just a regular dude. And to have to spend the movie being a regular dude and still making the choice to fight alongside them, I thought that was very cool.
I would have liked it more if Bruce Banner's expertise had come into it more.
Like if he had to do more sciencing.
Yeah, like, okay, we don't have the Hulk, we've got Bruce Banner. Well, then let's at least put Banner to work.
That's true, because they don't even do that. The one time they need a scientist is when they go to Wakanda to talk to Shuri.
Yeah. And Bruce spits out a couple of things.
And Shuri basically tells him off for being an idiot.
Yeah, she's like, you know, well, there's the bench, Bruce.
Yeah, no, actually, I get that. I get that critique, yeah.
Who do you think has more chemistry out of Anakin and Padme, or the Vision and Scarlet Witch?
Maybe it's just because I really, really like Elizabeth Olsen.
So do I.
But
I really like Paul Bettany.
Yeah. I thought I like them together. Maybe the lack of chemistry you're sensing is because he's robotic.
I don't care about that. She can hit whatever she wants. I'm not going to judge.
Humans, robots, animals, you go, girl.
Guillermo del Toro would be cool with it.
Yeah. No, I thought they were fine. Okay. I liked that first introduction we had to them in this film, where they've kind of gotten away together to Scotland. They're just,
Vision looks like Paul Bettany.
Yeah, and Vision was in human form, which I think is kind of the first time we've seen that.
Happy you liked it. I was looking at that when they were on the streets in Edinburgh. I was just looking at this sign behind Elizabeth Olsen of this kebab shop saying, "We will deep fry your kebab." And I was like, I know what Billy's looking at.
That is so Scottish too. They will deep fry anything over there.
Walking down the street in Edinburgh at 3 a.m. is an amazing experience. Oh man, the stuff you can buy to eat.
I actually remember being on the phone to you when you were either in Scotland or London, and you were drunk as a skunk.
I was in London.
And you were telling me about a squirrel that stole your kebab.
No. I was comparing myself to a squirrel with an acorn to me and my kebab. You were at work, weren't you?
I was at work at the time. Time difference. It was like 2 a.m. for you or something. Yeah. Still one of the best phone calls I've ever had with you.
Do you know how much that call cost me?
You spoke to everyone in the office.
Oh,
it was a long call.
Got back to Australia 3 weeks later. Here's the phone bill. Oh, crap. Fucking kebab. So they keep Thor funny.
They did keep Thor funny. They gave him back his eye.
Well, an eye.
But yeah, they keep Thor generally pretty funny, which is interesting because he now is almost like the Batman of the Avengers, basically. He has more reason to be kind of crummy than anyone.
He does have, actually, he has a really good moment with Captain America once they meet up and on the battlefield. Cap's like, oh, hey, you cut your hair. And Thor's like, yes, no. So you copied my beard. It's actually well done.
I very much enjoyed the interactions we got between Thor and Star-Lord as well.
Yeah, that was good, actually.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, it does go back to the first half of the movie is just everybody's trying to out-funny each other. There's a lot of funny thrown into that first hour, and then it just, all the funny dies at once.
Yeah, it's like the first half is like, this is how it's done, DCEU.
Yes. But yeah, no, I liked those interactions where Star-Lord was very jealous of Thor and was trying to copy his voice. That was humorous.
That was a good scene.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
Speaking of the Guardians of the Galaxy, though, did you see Gamora's death coming?
No, and that's one of the best bits of the movie.
It really is, because that is the only time that they really, apart from that opening scene where Loki dies, and honestly, I saw that coming 10,000 miles away. But apart from that, they really, you know, the marketing for this movie was very like, we are unflinchingly going to kill a lot of people. And that doesn't happen at all.
And then they flinchingly kill a lot of people.
Do they?
Well, I mean, they're dead at the moment. It's just that we're like, they're not really.
Gamora is the first time, really, that they actually are like, yep, this person is dead. And I did not see it coming at all.
It's a pretty cool scene, actually. That whole sequence is good.
Yeah, so Thanos has to reach the Soul Stone, effectively, he's told by
a ring wraith that turns out to be Red Skull.
Yeah, that he has to sacrifice something he loves. And Gamora initially is laughing at him, being like, silly you know, you spent all this time chasing it and you love nothing, so you'll never get it. Sheds a tear, picks up Gamora, throws her down this crevasse to her death. And that was very, very, very well done.
Apart from, I will say, the actual shot of her,
of her falling.
The moment of, that moment, I don't think really landed.
Yeah.
But the scene as a whole is good.
It's a very cool set piece too, that entire environment and that kind of mountain they have to climb when they find the Red Skull.
Can I just say, too many close-ups in this movie?
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
You've got some awesome sets and everything.
Make use of them.
Maybe put a wide-angle lens on at some point and just let a scene play out rather than just cross-cutting close-ups. I'm going to jump forward to the credits again. We both picked this up and we're both like, wait, what?
Has it come to you? Have you?
No, I got no idea. So in the credits, do you remember what the wording is?
Yes, it says, Arrested Development character courtesy of 20th Century Fox Television. And we were like, hold up.
Wait, what? Like, at one point, did Thor be like, we must kill Thanos? And someone goes, well, maybe I will. Yeah. What was that about?
I have no idea, because it was very specific character. Like, it's not like there was a scene where someone was watching Arrested Development and they said footage of, you know, it was like, is this now officially a crossover? Does Arrested Development officially take place in the MCU?
Oh, man. And now that Nick Fury's dead with an asterisk, Lucille can take over, like in Archer.
Yes.
Mother is my Thanos now. If any, we have no idea.
No idea.
So if anyone knows...
Yeah, if you see this movie and recognize the Arrested Development character, please reach out to us and let us know. We're on all the social medias. We check our email constantly, so please let us know.
Well, you check the email constantly.
I check the email.
I've checked it before.
Yeah.
Actually, I checked it this week.
You did?
You know what I found?
What?
A whole bunch of people emailing saying, Billy, where's my stickers at? Billy, where are their stickers at?
So Thor then... Okay, yes. So about a month ago, I got some stickers printed for the show. They're very cool. They've got our little logo on them and stuff.
They exist. I've seen them.
And I did put out on social media, you know, like, if you'd like a sticker, let us know. Which is, speaking of, listeners, if you'd like a sticker, let us know.
You won't get it.
No, that's not... I've been very, very busy. I was sick for the last couple of weeks. I'm really sorry. I'm sending them out this week, so you will get them. And Topher has done nothing to help.
I didn't start this. They're not my stickers.
They're our stickers. They belong to the show.
Well, no, I think they should belong to the people who asked for them.
Yeah, which is where they're going this week. So yes, I'm sending out some stickers this week. If you'd like some, let us know.
And Billy will send it via a beam of energy coming from the sky.
So the ending of this film, as I predicted, Thanos completes the Infinity Gauntlet. Which the big thing for me is how quickly that happened, to be honest. It's like he's supposedly been chasing these stones for years and then he gets all 6 in a day. Like, they're not really that well guarded if he can get all 6 in the time span of this movie.
That's a reasonable point.
Which is about 2 days.
That's really a reasonable point.
So, you know, he gets Loki's Tesseract pretty quickly. That doesn't take a whole lot of effort. And then from the time he gets that, it literally takes him maybe 2 days to complete the rest of the set. Yeah. Like,
What's he been doing?
They're like Happy Meal toys. He just drives through and be like, oh, I'd like this one today, thanks. And they give it to him. It doesn't take him long.
Does he cry while he eats the Happy Meal like you?
Hoof it down in the car, sadly listening to The Cure.
The shameful hoofing of the Happy Meal.
I do have one question on whether he actually does get all Infinity Stones. Do you have the same question?
I imagine I know where you're going, but...
I'm not convinced that the stone Doctor Strange gives him is the legit stone. Which does then...
He did turn back time,
but Doctor Strange is not an emotional person. And he even sets out on the ship, look, if it comes down to you, like Iron Man and Spider-Man dying or the stone, you guys are dead. And then, you know...
Or that's just feeding into an emotional moment later on in the film that isn't really very emotional. But maybe that's what they were going for.
I mean, possibly, but that's not who he is. I don't believe for a second that Doctor Strange would give up that stone that easily.
You think it's as convincing as the streaks of white in his hair?
Yeah, they should have just hired you. You've got legit.
I've got the wings. It's the only way people can tell me apart from Chris Hemsworth, to be honest. Same first name, born in the same year.
Oh, man.
Me and Hemsworth.
You made some poor choices then. Imagine where your life could be right now if you had made the same choice as Chris Hemsworth did.
I wouldn't have a podcast.
No.
Poor Chris Hemsworth. His life's not worth living.
Yeah, I question whether he gave the legit time stone. But anyway, he does get all the stones, snaps his fingers, you know, as he would. Like, when Thor comes at him with that axe and stabs him in the chest, I'm like, mate, his hands are still free. Like, you know what he's going to do now. And what we get is what Thanos has been saying his kind of plan is all along, is to basically halve the universe, to kill half the people in the universe at random.
Because Thanos thinks that the universe has a
population problem, basically.
Problem,
yeah, he thinks,
which is a weird driving motive for a villain.
It is different to the comic books. In the comic books, Thanos is in love with the goddess of death, basically, and he's trying to impress her by destroying the universe. In this, they've got a very different way. They've made him like an eco-terrorist.
Yeah, it's like Neil from Young Ones going aggressive.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a big Young Ones fan. That's such a random reference to pull out. Now all I can think of is Rick Mayall reciting his poem to Neil after he's cooked all the lentils. Classic Thanos.
Yes.
So Thanos snaps his fingers. He is at first kind of transported to this, I guess, spiritual plane. And then we cut back to the world and we see basically half the people at random, Avengers, not Avengers, everyday regular people, dissolving into dust.
So they're dead.
Well, do you think so?
Well, they're dead. The asterisk is they're not going to stay dead.
Would you like to hear my prediction?
Do it.
2 worlds, 2 timelines. I think the population is now split between those. I don't know whether this is related to whether or not Doctor Strange did give up the Time Stone. I'm not sure. But I think that what has happened is that rather than half of the universe dying, I think they've split into 2 different streams, which are going to cross over in the next one. I think we're going to get a bit of time travel, a bit of parallel universe going on. That's my suspicion.
Do you know whether that kind of thing happens in Captain Marvel comics?
It happens very regularly in comic worlds. DC did it for a long time with Earth 1 and Earth 2 with kind of different parallel universes. It is a big thing. Because at the end, right after Nick Fury dies, he's been, unless I got this very wrong, he was kind of sending an SOS to Captain Marvel and it's going to be up to Brie Larson to save everyone. That's what it did seem like, yeah. So I'm not enough of a Marvel aficionado to say whether that happens in this. I mean, they've changed things from the comics anyway, so who knows? But that is a very common kind of staple in comics, is this kind of parallel universe thing. Where was Thanos at the end? He kind of crawls out of a hut and looks out over this kind of paradise.
I think he was in Bali.
He just went on a Kon-Tiki tour or something.
No, there weren't enough drunk 18-year-old Australians for it to be Bali. He was somewhere nice.
Yeah, it's like he just took a little holiday. He was like, oh, this is nice. Underpopulation. Just go see the rainforest.
Yeah, you can stare at the sun rising.
Yeah, it was a bit strange.
Because he's a hippie at heart.
So that's what I think is happening. Do you have any predictions for where we're heading next?
I don't. I just like, oh, well, Captain Marvel's going to save us. I don't know what the timeline is exactly of when Captain Marvel comes out and how long after that the film that was originally Infinity War Part 2 comes out.
So we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp in July, then Captain Marvel next March, then we get what is now untitled Avengers film, which is Infinity War Part 2, in May next year. So we've only got the two in between here.
And we know that Captain Marvel is set like early 90s or something.
Yeah.
So we'll establish that Captain Marvel kicks ass, and then that will somehow tie in her pager goes off, and it's Nick Fury as he dies going, help me.
Well, I mean, where has Captain Marvel been all this time?
She might be at the same result that Thanos is at.
Maybe.
She just walks out. She's in the next hut. She walks out, kicks him in the balls, and it's done.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
And by balls, I mean his chin.
Yeah, so I thought that the writing in this film was better than expected. I thought the direction was fine. You know, it was a Marvel movie. It felt like a Marvel movie. Thought all the acting was good.
Yeah, there's not much. It's not like the actors. It's not juicy scenes for acting. It's a Marvel movie. Like, if you're after character development, you walked into the wrong cinema.
Yeah, but I mean, this is arguably, I would say, you know, it has more emotion in it than most of the others. You know, like with Gamora's death, we get a distraught Peter Quill, and that I thought was a very cool scene. Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
I wouldn't have.
No, I mean, you have no human feelings for anybody.
Feel.
What if Thanos had spilled your beer?
Oh my god! I'll cut him. Yeah. So yeah, like it's fun. The movie is fun.
It's a lot of fun. I had a really good time. I'll probably see it again. Yeah, I liked it. I think that the marketing, they've done a very, very good job of getting people to the movies, because I do think they've made people believe that this is bigger than it is. I think the expectation is that this is a culmination, and that, you know, this is kind of really the end of that first phase. That's just not a reality. Like, this honestly raises more questions than it answers, and it doesn't really end a lot of that kind of old Avengers stuff. Like, I was surprised that not more of the original Avengers died. Yeah. I was really, really expecting Iron Man to die.
I thought maybe they were going to go through with that.
Yeah, because we've had so much of that, and there are so many new ones now that I just really thought they were going to do that. Just kill off, you know, that old Avenger and move forward with it. And I was really shocked. The audience gasped when people thought Iron Man was dead, and then he just wasn't, like, really quickly.
Yeah. Like,
they didn't even.
I can fix that with my suit.
Yeah, they didn't even really let you sit with that and feel that moment.
I was hoping they were going to have the fortitude to just go through with it and be like, that's how serious this is. We're killing off Tony Stark.
Yeah, but I mean, depending on how you read the ending, there's really only, two major deaths, which is Loki and Gamora.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone else dead with an asterisk.
Yeah. And the big reason I don't believe those people at the end are dead is because of the people who are left alive. There is no way that they killed off Peter Parker,
who's had only one movie to himself.
Yeah. Star-Lord.
We know there's a guy. And of course, this is the problem, is that we know that they're making a sequel to Homecoming. We know there's a Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah. And
that's why I think it would have been, like, if they'd wanted to, they could have gone through with it and killed Tony Stark. You can leave the Winter Soldier dead.
Oh, please do.
That's fine. So, have you decided on a score out of 10?
Yeah, I mean, this is tough because we've recorded this. These are our immediate thoughts. We've walked directly out of the theatre, hoofed down some food, drank a beer, and hit record. So, I haven't really had a lot of time to sit with it, but I'm going to go a 7.
Okay, I'm a 6.
Yeah, I thought that might happen.
So it's perfectly enjoyable.
It's a lot of fun.
There's no weight to anything.
No. And I'm sure that other people will get more out of this than we will. If you are a giant comic fan and you've seen all of these things and you know where this is headed, you're going to love seeing it on a big screen because it is very, very well put together. The execution of this movie is great.
The good news is that if you like the MCU, you're going to like this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you like the MCU, you will love this movie. I don't think this movie is going to be a letdown for anybody out there. It really delivers a lot of great things. I love the chemistry we get between all of these people together, which I was expecting to not enjoy. I thought it was going to be too much, but they did a really good job. So I think it's pretty good. What are we getting to next week?
Next week, we are going to the new Steven Soderbergh, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Unsane.
That will be great.
See what they've done there with the title?
Yeah, it's not insane, it's unsane. That's clever. So that'll be good. Looking forward to that.
So at some point, you've all seen this film. So if you've got any thoughts, you can write to us and let Billy know.
Yeah, please do. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do that at wewatchathing.com or at wewatchathing@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at wewatchathing. So thanks for joining us.
Happy movie watching, everyone.
Gotchas.